Hey friends, Bill here with Sportsman Outreach. Hey, I'm excited to have Mason Goodknight with me today to talk about their upcoming Southern Oregon Evangelism Conference. First, I do want to share this about Mason. He was a Super Bowl outreach team leader this year and did a fantastic job. And what happens here is we spend about, starting Labor Day weekend, about 5 or 6 months together praying every week and talking about the whole outreach. We get a chance to know each other. And what I learned a lot about Mason and Wellspring Bible Fellowship is, one, they're very aggressive evangelistically. And they're in Roseburg, Oregon, kind of in the center of the state. At least looks that way for me. And they definitely reach their city, but they also go to other cities in the state. And Mason himself is very dedicated to reaching out, to preaching with other people, preaching with pastors. We talked about pastors in Southern Oregon as well, trying to get them out and preaching at games and stuff. And so he definitely is not only evangelizing, but he's also exhorting others to get out, pastors and other people as well. So he really taught me a lot about just the dedication to that work and being a patient with it as well. It's not always a easy work, but he's definitely dedicated to it. And the church definitely dedicated to evangelism. They're growing from it. People are coming. And so I'm excited to hear more about what they're doing at the conference, because this is kind of a part of their work in the state of Oregon, a very tough state in general, and then just an engine to the mission of the Great Commission and to the work of evangelism. So we're going to bring on Mason and hear about the conference. Mason, how you doing?
Doing great, Bill. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. How are things in Roseburg in Oregon?
Doing good. Keeping busy.
I bet you are. You're always busy. That's so amazing. I'd love to. We need to hear your stories sometime, but tell us about the conference. And just tell us first, like, how did it get started? How has it developed? Now you're in year 6. What's going to be different about this year than other years?
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's been going. This is our 6th year. How we got started basically was several years back. This is probably going back around 10 years or so now. I had heard about a conference going on up in Portland, Oregon, called the Biblical Church Evangelism Conference by Pastor Chuck O'Neill. And I'd never heard of a conference. I've heard of Bible conferences, heard of evangelism conferences, and heard of places where people are going. And like usual, like I just went to Shepherd's Conference, and I went with Pastor Chuck O'Neill, with my pastors Brian and Ryan, and we went out before the Shepherd's Conference and were preaching out on Hollywood Boulevard before the conference started to make sure we.
Uh-oh. Lost it. Hang on. He'll be back. He'll be back. Be patient. Technology, man, technology. While we're waiting, seriously, those guys, they're dedicated. Here he is coming back. Okay.
There we go.
All right, go ahead.
There you go. All right, cool. So we were down there at Shepherd's Conference, Pastor Chuck, even just this year, first time I've been there. But it was his focus, is not just a conference, but to have going on the streets, evangelizing as you're being equipped at the conference. So I'd never heard of something like that. And I thought, I got to be part of this. Now, I was working full-time at the sheriff's office all those years, and I went to a couple, 3 years of those conferences while they were going on. I couldn't stay at the whole thing, obviously, because of work. But this conference, biggest thing I've ever seen, they would host 7 days. It would start on a Monday, run all the way through Sunday. And every day there was outreach on the streets in the daytime and then teaching at night. Now, we've been doing these. I've been doing these where basically we've been doing Thursday through Saturday have basically been our conferences ever since we started them here. Unfortunately, Pastor Chuck had those shut down, just too much stuff going on, wasn't able to keep those going. But when we started this back up 6 years ago, one of the first speakers and one who spoke every time since, Pastor Chuck, has been at every one of the SOECs and plans to be here again this upcoming year. But whereas we've always done pretty much Thursday through Saturday, with Thursday just being an outreach time, and then doing up through Saturday with teaching and events outside. This year, we're actually extending it, putting a day on for the beginning and the end, meaning we're going to kick it off this year on our Wednesday night. Since last year, we implemented a Wednesday night worship service at Wellspring. So we're going to have our Wednesday night service will be part of the SOEC. We're going to have a welcome dinner and have people come fellowship, have a meal. Then we will do our regular teaching time that night, but that will be conference message on Wednesday night for our service. And then we will have Thursday, we'll go down and have some outreach down in the Southern Oregon area. We'll go to the Southern Oregon University. We'll go to the Medford Planned Parenthood. We'll go to the Medford Bus Depot. We'll have people at a farmer's market. We'll do a lot of outreach down there and come back for a message Thursday evening. And then Friday, we'll be going up to the University of Oregon, having outreach there during the day, as well as the Planned Parenthood in Eugene. And then we'll come back for a couple messages. One message will be Friday evening. And then Saturday, we'll go to Eugene Saturday Market, which is just crazy. We'll go up there and do some outreach there. And then we'll come back and have a conference message and a question and answer panel. We'll pretend like we're big conference people, like people want to ask and answer, have us answer questions there, and we'll do that. We'll throw pizza in with it, like MacArthur and them don't have pizza at their Q&A panels. We'll have pizza in ours, so we'll have that there for everybody. And then Sunday, we'll just gather the whole church for Sunday school. But the Sunday school will all meet in one place, and that'll be a conference message. And then we're not going to substitute. It will be a Sunday morning message, not going to be but the conference, it will be an evangelism themed conference message for the Sunday main service. Then we'll wrap up with a big meal, barbecue pot, like whatever we end up doing for Sunday afternoon. So it's going to be 5 days of messages, outreach, hitting the streets, bringing the gospel to people all over Southern Oregon, from all the way to the bottom of the state in the Ashland area, all the way up to really the middle, right, with Eugene area is where we're going to hit it. So those will be the main focuses.
Wow. Yeah. Awesome. Is there a theme this year or a special theme to the messages?
I don't have a specific theme this year. I mean, there's always there's always evangelistic, but there's also messages that tie into the current cultural issues. I mean, I've covered, woke stuff. I've covered things of, basic evangelism tactics. I've covered, stuff with, what do they call that? All the woke garbage I've done. They're just whatever it is, abortion stuff, how we reach different areas. So, and I generally leave it unless a speaker wants me to give them something specific. I won't. Another one of the brothers that does SFOY with us, been with you and I. In fact, I met at an SFOY event. Eric Schambachler, he's now pastoring up in Eastern Oregon. We've changed our week of the date so we can make sure to get him there. So he's going to be teaching. I know his theme is going to be out of Mark 1:14 through 20. It's going to be really good. So looking forward to everybody that's going to be there.
Cool. So who's speaking? Who all's on the list?
I just got the roster actually finalized today. The two outside folks that we have planning to come in is Pastor Chuck, the usual, coming down from Portland, and then Pastor Eric coming over from Eastern Oregon. He'll be here, and the rest of us will all be homegrown. Pastor Brian, Pastor Ryan, myself, and Brother Sean Kellum will be with us, that was at Super Bowl with us this year. So we'll have all four of us will be homegrown, and two brothers from out of the area, all Oregonians this year.
There you go. So so the teaching is essentially practical based.
Yeah, I mean, it's dealing with the issues. Now, it's not like we're doing I wouldn't say it's like we're doing a general way of the master style training sessions per se, but evangelistic in the messages, the drive to get people out taking part. I mean, the fields are white for harvest. The laborers are few, sadly. It's not like we draw big crowds beating down the door to be in here. But so a lot of people that are coming are just here to be encouraged and fellowship and go out and take part. But we have had people in the past that it has been a real blessing. One brother who I'm hoping to get back here soon, he actually was at one of our SOECs, and another brother who doesn't even go to our church, but a friend of mine, brought him over to see this, and he ended up joining our church and becoming a member from our SOEC conference. So, I mean, because he got hyped up about this and taking part in this. So it was a real blessing. So it's good stuff.
Cool. About how many people attend?
I mean, there's times when we have, I think we've had somewhere in the 30 to 50 range at a bigger session, usually around 20 to 30 or so, usually at each session. And then, but you keep almost that many out on the streets when we're going. So it's a pretty good turnout.
Logistically, do you have any logistical things to share, or what's the cost and so forth?
We don't charge anything. Feel free. Anybody wants to come can come. It's all free. Just you got to find your way here, basically. We usually do the last couple of years. We've had some people. We had the blessing a couple of years back. One of your good friends and mine, Al Baker, came out and shared with us. It was a real blessing to have Al here. And so when we have people coming from faraway Oregon or even flying in, we start having a love offering, so people give in some donations. Then we'll split that amongst the people that are coming from a distance, kind of help them out with gas and resources, whatever their situation is. But pretty much everybody's donating their time to this to come out, and we don't have the big conference budget. But people have always been faithful. It's only been since being last 3 years being part of Wellspring, because I mean, first 3 years of doing this was all just me by myself. You know, I had other helpers, don't get me wrong, but it was my thing for part of core, my ministry. I was not being supported by a church. In fact, I'd never, until being at Wellspring, never hosted any of the events at a church I was even taking part in. They were all hosted away from the churches I was even attending, because those churches didn't have necessarily the evangelistic support level that by any means that Wellspring has. So,
well, cool. Awesome, man. All right, is there a website for the conference, or for where the information is? What is it?
Basically, the website is just Facebook. I have a conference page, the SOEC, Southern Oregon Evangelism Conference, on Facebook. That's where I keep things updated. That's where I send out the most info. I'll also send out some ads on X/Twitter, whatever. I don't get on that much. I'm basically on Facebook. So where you'll find the conference, if you just look up Southern Oregon Evangelism Conference on Facebook, you'll find the page. You'll see the updates there. Plus, I'll share them on my page. Other people share them. That's why I just encourage people to do that. And I hashtag them for this year, SOEC 24 for the year, obviously. And just get the word out. I've been supportive. We've had permission from Living Waters to give on a flash drive. If people want them, I can get even some of the lessons from the School of Biblical Evangelism. We're able to give that away to people who want that. They've been very supportive of us in the past. Also, those who buy gospel tracts, especially online, they'll know Andy over at Track Planet, Gospel Track Planet. He's been a supporter ever since we've had the conference going. So he'll send us a bunch of tracts, and I'll have a table up with his stuff on it there. And he donates a whole bunch of tracts to us for the ministry. So he's a supporter over there at Track Planet. Plus, John Peterman has a group. He makes a lot of our signs and banners and other tracts through Gospel Outreach Signs and Banners on Facebook. So they're supporters. So a few different people connected to us there. And of course, now you're supporting us with this, even just putting us on here, letting people know about it. It's big help, big support, blessing, let people know this is going on.
Praise God. Okay, just let me check. So it's, I found it on your home page, but is there a SOEC Facebook page too?
Yeah, it's its own, it's an event, but it also has its own page. So there's a page for Southern Oregon Evangelism Conference. And then there is there's an actual event that I set up from that page for each year. So SOEC is on. In fact, I can just pull it up here. There it is, SOEC. So not that you can see that real well, but you can see that's the page there, Southern Oregon Evangelism Conference there on Facebook. So that's where we're at. And you see there's some people on there, followers and stuff. And then I've got the conference itself is linked on there. And I've got a few advertising videos and stuff on there. But yeah, you get there and you get to see all that stuff, plus the links. And like any page, you go to the events page and you can find the information of the event. We moved it. We initially launched it. We used to do it when we first did this. We would do it on the first weekend of every month. It would be the first Friday, whenever the first Friday fell, because during that time there was a big outpouring of people coming out for just the public at an event down in Grants Pass in Southern Oregon on first Fridays. That's kind of mellowed out, so we didn't have to tether it to the first Friday anymore. And with other people being able to make it at different weekends, we decided to push it back a couple weeks to help out with people being involved this year. So hopefully the weather will be even nicer, plenty of people to be able to show up. And so now we're doing it at a different date. So it's the 15th through the 19th. I think it's about the third weekend into May this year. So a little different setup.
All right. Fantastic, Mason. Well, thanks so much. Anything else you want to share?
Oh, doing great. Thank you so much. Anybody that's out there, I just want to say the same. Just give the plug here to SFOY. Keep an eye on Bill here and everything going on. If you ever want to get any kind of sports stuff going on, if you're in our area, man, come out during football season. We'd love to have you go out. We bring out big squads to the games. I think last year we estimated in 2023 that our church with our crews handed out about 30,000 gospel tracts, and well over 20,000 of those were at football games. The rest were probably parades and festivals and things. But we covered a lot of U of O games, OSU this year, even a little SOU. So if you're getting involved, you want to get out, get the gospel out, hook up with Bill, look for SFOY 1000 games, and all kinds of events all year long. Get into it, get the gospel out there to people.
Amen. Plus, y'all got a bus, didn't you? You got the bus, the van.
We got a big bus if we need it. We've taken that for a couple events, loaded up like 35, 40 people. We usually average 10 to 20 people on these outreaches going up each week to the football game. So yeah, from football season, college football kickoff, from like September through December, pretty much right up until December, like November, we were pretty much got stuff going on, whether it be football games, pride events, parades, festivals, outreaches of all kinds. We're all over the place with the gospel. So
praise God. Praise God. Amen. Okay, Mason. All right, man. Thanks for being on.
Thank you,
Be
Bill.
praying to have a good crowd. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks a bunch.
All right. God bless you. Thanks, Bill. Bye now.
Yeah, check out what Mason's doing up there. They do a great job. It's really amazing. Like I said, up there in Oregon, of all places, reaching that area, you know, it's definitely different than the South. So anyway, if you're in the area, go check it out. I'm going to put the link to the events page on Facebook on this video once it gets published. Thanks again, Mason, for tuning in. You guys contact him and hope you can make the trip to the conference. Take care. Bye-bye.